Good day to all of you. And we had begun with an introduction to the theatre of the absurd, which I had told you yesterday was a movement which was made up of many diverse plays which were written between 1940 and 1960. Now, when these plays were performed, they shocked the audience as they were startlingly and shockingly very different than anything that had been previously staged. In fact, many of them were labeled as anti plays. In an attempt to clarify and define this radical movement, Martin Esslin had coined the term the theatre of the absurd. And this was the title of his book, which he wrote in 1960. He defined it as such because all of the plays emphasized the absurdity of the human condition. Whereas we tend to use the word absurd synonymously with ridiculous. Esslin was referring to the original meaning of the word. And what was that original meaning? It meant out of harmony with reason or propriety. Or in other words, something that is very illogical. So absurd here does not mean ridiculous as it's generally understood to be, but absurd, according to Martin Esslin, meant something that was not in sync, something that was out of harmony with reason and therefore very illogical. And each play renders man's existence as illogical and meaningless. This idea was a reaction to the collapse of moral, religious, political, and social structures following the two world wars of the 20th century. So, because of war, people's faith was shaken in God, and therefore there was a collapse of the moral, religious, political, and social structures. Now, absurdist theatre was very heavily influenced by existential philosophy, and this philosophy aligned best with the philosophy in Albert Camus's essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, which was written in the year 1942. Now, in this essay, Camus attempts to present a reasonable answer as to why man should not commit suicide in the face of a meaningless and absurd existence. To do so, that is, to commit suicide, he uses the Greek mythological figure Sisyphus, who was condemned to push a big boulder up a mountain only to have it roll back down. Now you can just imagine how arduous and strenuous and tiring and exhausting this task must have been for Sisyphus to push such a big rock, a boulder, up on towards the mountain and then have it roll back again, and to continue to do that. And he would repeat this futile cycle for all of eternity. At the end of the essay, Camus concludes that one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Now, what he means by that is that the struggle of life alone should bring one happiness, and we can find meaning in living even without knowing why we exist. So, the absurd dramatist, however, did not resolve the problem of man's meaningless existence quite as positively as Camus. In fact, they typically offered no solution to the problem, thus suggesting that the question is ultimately unanswerable. So, this is what the absurd dramatist thought, and it was this absurdist philosophy, or the drama of the theater of the absurd, was based on these two books written by Camus, The Myth of Sisyphus, and Martin Eslin's The Theatre of the Absurd. Now, coming to the themes. What are the themes of absurd drama? We'll continue tomorrow.